Purposes, I don't know what I'm here to do. And it's like, well, what do you like doing? What's the thing that, when you think about it, puts the biggest smile on your face when you see yourself doing that?
Aloha, my name is Adam Capel, and I'm the technical advisor at LightNet. My purpose is to teach the world to dream awake, a research field we call lucid living. Today, we're with Stephen Henderson. Stephen has a studio where he promotes the use of costumes, jewelry, and pure fantasy to help women realize their inner beauty and bring that forward into a form of photographic artistic expression. Stephen began a career as a London fashion photographer and transitioned into a professional windsurfer, and then spent time on the European dance stages as a professional DJ. Through an accident, trying to set a world windsurfing speed record, Stephen was injured, and that injury left him in a wheelchair. He then went around the world discovering new and fantastical ways of curing himself, and he was able to walk again.
My purpose is to help people, especially women, tune in and find and connect with their inner beauty and express it in most beautiful and wondrous ways. How do I do it? Well, it's a process, total process of using all my life experiences from early on, 25 years of fashion and beauty photographer in London, working mainly with women, and then long journey, and we're filling the gaps, but then sort of actually through my own journey of self-discovery, becoming an empowerment coach, a workshop facilitator, also being an artist and a creative. And it's honoring all those experiences and gifts, bringing it all together and creating what is a very magical and very empowering experience for many, many people. Well, that's the outside. It's called Awaken the Goddess Within. So the within is the beauty. Everybody is beautiful, regardless of their skin suits. Everybody has beauty within themselves. So what I'm offering is a space where people can come and really work through the psychological aspects of not accepting themselves because of mainly outside conditioning of the whole world and experience telling you should be like this, you should look like this, you should do this and be a certain shape, a certain size, which is so disempowering for so many people. So it's so we work through those issues to actually tap into that inner beauty within. And once we've done that, then having the most amazing wardrobe here, which is getting ridiculous because it's overtaking, but I have become addicted to buying women's clothing. But it's actually giving people the opportunity to express their inner goddess, whether it be the Cinderella ball gowns or whether it be the more shamanic witchy poo stuff. It's there's everything here, including 100 wigs, 300 dresses. And depth. And then it's not just putting on the clothes, it's like then making art. It's turning it into actually work of art with post-production, which is not Photoshop, it's not AI. It's just using my artistic talents. And, sort of we don't, just as I say, put a dress on someone. We build a set. We use accessories. People make their own headdresses. They express it. It's like going to a fun workshop, a goddess workshop, where you can make your own outfit and then be photographed in the most beautiful ways. That was a long time. Took a long time to honor it, and through my own personal journey, which was from being very successful in the fashion industry and then having a windsurfing accident that took me off on a different direction completely. I was 8 months in a wheelchair with my leg elevated. I had 6 corrective operations over an 8-year period, and the whole time I was on opiates, which sent me completely psychotic. And then I was sent to the psychiatrist, who decided to give me other drugs, including Prozac, which completely fried my brain. and I was in a completely alternative reality to everybody. My wife, my family, my friends, completely out there in a hell which I had created for myself. Suicidal. At that point, I burnt everything. I got rid of all my possessions. I didn't want any trace in the place. I burnt all my photography. I burnt all the music. I was a music producer. I burnt all my music and got rid of everything. Didn't obviously commit suicide because I'm still sitting here talking to you. And then a little spark within myself sort of lit up. And then some crazy magic and synchronicities appeared on my journey, which led me to find a holistic healer who actually became a godsend for me, because he became my guide and helped me wean myself off of all the drugs and medication, which was a very long process. Because, as I say, I was in such a crazy hell. It was insane. But bless him, Ross, he really helped me. Then he took me to the Amazon. This is early days of people working with plant spirit medicine before it became what it is today, which sadly is not people respecting the medicine as I think they should. It wasn't only about working with ayahuasca. We actually worked with all the healing plants, especially in my case of helping. And we actually prepared 3 months before I went to the Amazon. And then I was there for a month, and we were there for 2 weeks, even before we were introduced to the individual parts of ayahuasca. And then we had 13 consecutive nights of ceremony, which blew my mind. And that got me into holistic medicine, alternative medicine, shamanism, mysticism. So I went back to the UK and got rid of my house. Sadly went through a divorce at that time. And started traveling around the world, studying with different cultures. And that took me through the South Americas again, up through Mexico, into North America. And it was all very magical and pretty amazing experiences, partially because I was still partially psychotic, which gave an interesting take on life and reality. And settled here in Sedona and have been here for many years, and that's where I started coaching people, because I'd made that journey from actually losing the plot completely to be able to operate in consensus reality once again. And from that place, it's a very strong place to be able to help other people, because you understand, you've been there. It's not something you've read in a book, you become an expert. It's like I had that personal experience. And so I was coaching and doing workshops and facilitating retreats, creating photographic art, but I had not been photographing people. And it was about 4 years ago, just before COVID, went back to the UK, stayed with my sister, and she said, I have a box of yours in the closet. And I had no idea what it was, and I opened it up, and it was some of my old-fashioned beauty pictures, including very early pictures I took of Kate Moss when she was 17 years old. I thought all this stuff had gone, and it was all on transparency. I then shipped it back over here to the States and went through the process of digitalizing some of it to, just to keep it. And at that point, it's thinking, oh my God, I've been ignoring such a big part of my life for such a long time. And it's a realization of it's because of all the trauma that was still associated with that time for me, through the accident, sort of going through the whole psychosis. And so I'd been completely ignoring that part of my life. So that got me thinking I should be, doing something with this. I'm very good at it. That's why I had international advertising campaigns with Esprit and, top end clients. And in Sedona, photographing people, yes, I can do portraits, but let's have some fun with this. Being a creative and an artist myself, we're in Sedona, people come here for, expanding, self-discovery, place is full of goddesses wandering around all over the place. Let's create a goddess playground where we can take this to, there's no limits. I mean, people say to me when they're sort of putting their costume together, it's like, is this too much? I said, no, there's no such thing as too much. You will know when it's too much for you. So here it is, and this is how it's evolved, and the whole project has been so supported from day one. COVID hit, and that's the time that I had the concept, and I've actually found this space, beautiful space. It was previously a yoga studio that shut down. Rented the space and then went online thinking, oh my goodness, I now need to shoot some content. It's been a long time since I've worked with people and models, but let's get some outfits together. Went online to discover at the beginning of COVID, no one was going out, no one was going to balls, no one was going to proms, no one was doing anything. And a lot of these beautiful dresses, as behind here, these are like seasonal collections. And so what had happened, all these dresses have been dumped into the secondhand market. And I was picking up $1,200 dresses, brand new with tax of $25. And that's when I got addicted. And luckily I did, because now, prices have all gone back up again. I managed to pull an amazing Hollywood, wardrobe together. And it's pretty amazing, as you've seen. It's pretty spectacular. And that's part of the fun for the women when they come in, because they don't know what to expect. You say, oh, it's got a wardrobe, and they actually see the depth of it. And then there's a whole art room where you can build your own bird. It's full of flowers, feathers, it's got butterflies, everything. So it's like, and that's where the headdresses get made. And so, yes, it's been a long journey to get to this point of finally realizing that we're all here with unique gifts and talents. We're born into this world, especially artistic gifts and talents. And it's really sad to find in this country that in a lot of states, they've taken art and music out of the curriculum, which personally I think should be the most important thing, encouraged within everybody. Because people get to a point where they get too in their head about their creation, that it becomes an ego thing of, is this right, is this wrong, is this good or bad, what will people think, which is, again, is not, like that beauty is within us. So there's our gifts to help other people, it's already within us. So it's getting back to that point of honoring that. And I've got to that point in my journey of photography, art, empowerment workshops, to honor all the gifts I had. And it's like everything I've done. I've made music, I've been a music producer, professional DJ, I've done many, many things, but I've brought all those aspects, from the sound therapy to the color therapy to the artistic expression to the psychological aspects of people and accepting themselves, to creating something that is rather a unique experience, but very, very powerful. Because it's not just an experience, it's what people have once we get into that inner place of beauty within everyone. They have the experience, and there's a lot of energy, and there's a lot of magic that happens through the photo shoot. But then they get this beautiful piece of art, which they have as a takeaway. And I still have clients regularly contacting me. They've either got their picture on their desk at work. There's one lady in particular who's got a picture by the front door. She was a warrior. She's there with a sword, and she looks at it every day she goes out into the world. And that's how she sees it, and that's how it takes herself out into the world. So it's really beautiful to be able to offer something that is long-lasting and effective for people. Lots of people come to Sedona for experiences, and they have great experiences, but they go home. 2 days later, they're back into their routine and no changes. But I've got something here that I can give to them as a gift for prosperity. We all change very quickly as well, physically. What we look like changes. And it's amazing. That's where the magic comes in, because as the dresses need someone wearing them to bring the dress alive, or the outfit has the same effect, it brings the person who's wearing that dress alive. And then within the shoot, it's like, I just get amazed sometimes that you look in the person, it's like, you're the same person. You look 40 years younger, because the energy has lit them up. There's another aspect of that. It's like people are trying things on, they look in the mirror and they're looking so seriously at themselves. And they're studying themselves and sort of looking at all the wrinkles, and they think, oh, I look dreadful. And they just say to them, smile. Now look in the mirror. Completely different energy. They look completely different. So that's a very important aspect of it, is to make people raise their vibration and smile. Be happy. So that's a gift, to be able to make people happy. Once I was inspired to get back into creating and photographing people, everything just opened up. It's like when you're aligned, and people always talk about, synchronicities just line up for you. And they did. And yes, I think in this climate that we're in, compared with many, because I've done many things and they came very easily, simply, it's like in the flow. I think in this climate it's a bit more difficult, whether it's because I'm getting older or just, things are always changing. But, it's really is, you have to apply yourselves. Really, sometimes you really have to motivate yourself to okay, and that's, but when you have a passion for something, that is not a problem. What I found and what I'm doing now, I wish to do until I drop dead. There's no retirement plan or vision of that. It's like, no, this is what I want to do. If someone gave me $10 billion, I would be buying a fairy tale castle and doing the same thing, because I love it. Because it is honoring all those gifts again, and all those aspects of self. And so definitely it's having a passion, following that passion, being passionate about whatever it is you want to do. It's like, as Joseph Campbell said, follow your bliss. I've adapted that and sort of is follow your blisters. Because what you really do have to apply yourself. You've got to be 100% on it. If you're not 100% on it, then you're opening the doorway for self-sabotage, self-doubt, disbelief. Believe and apply yourself. And it's like life, anything's possible. It's like, and that's from being psychotic and realizing it was my mind that created that hell for myself. So if you're capable of creating a hell for yourself, especially when you're suppressed by prescribed medication, which so many people are, what's the other side of this? Let's create a heaven. Not only for oneself, but heaven on earth for everybody. It's like in this if we all create our bubbles and sort of have that ripple effect of that going out through the world, whatever's going on out there can be changed. We're here to make the change. Follow the bliss, follow the passions, honor the gifts, and create your own magic. And also realizing we're here not only with unique artistic gifts and talents, but we're also here with unique gifts to help and support one another. Put the two together. Personally, I think that's what we're all here for. Yeah, I mean, every day it's nice to wake up, and like a lot of us that are out there helping people and being in service, it's nice to think that if we can help one person or make one person smile a day or inspire one person a day, especially to express their creativity in whatever way it is and get in touch with their passion, that's beautiful. Being able to do that, and you're saying about there's a very small percentage of people actually do it, and that's just sadly based on conditioning, with the way we're brought up in society, of like the idea is we get a job, we do our job and then we retire, and it's like that's outdated now. You know, you look at these poor people that retire, and a lot of them just get bored and they get old. You know, if you're doing something you're really passionate about, you want to do it. You know, if you're not doing that, you're doing something else. And what is that? Is that a distraction? Is that really, you know, sort of serving you, especially if you're conscious and aware and you want to evolve? We're given this beautiful opportunity of this life experience to evolve. And it's like, okay, how far can I push this? How far can you take this? And I think, you know, a big part of it is by expressing your gifts, your creativity. We're here to create. What does that look like for every individual? You know, it's within us, and sometimes it's so deep down and hidden. It takes someone to come along and give you a big kick up the backside and encourage you to get to that place of expressing it. If people are searching for their purpose, it's like, you know, the people spend a lot of money looking outside of themselves for the answers. It's like going to this psychic or, you know, doing this, and all of that's great. But you have to be very careful, because I've come across a lot of people that have completely gone off path based on someone else's perception of their reality. And that's where it's not so good. This, again, everything's within us already. So when people come to me and say, I don't know what my purpose is, I don't know what I'm here to do. And it's like, well, what do you like doing? What's the thing that, when you think about it, puts the biggest smile on your face when you see yourself doing that? That's your purpose. If you have to question it, it's not your purpose. So it's finding ways, yes, meditation, yeah, it's vibration. We're connected to our higher guidance, whether it be something that's perceived to be above us, or, you know, it's here already, but it's like, yeah, tune in. So change your vibration. When you get into that place of like changing the dial on your radio, no longer the sort of the distraction and the bad news channel over here. Let's go on to the happy channel, put some good music on. Let's, you know, do some physical exercise, some yoga, go out in nature, get into that high vibe, then tune in. Think, okay, what do I want to do today? How can I express myself today? It's like that beautiful stories of a lot of indigenous cultures where they sort of, especially the plains people with their teepees, would always face to the east because they honor the sun as it rises every day. And they see each day as a brand new canvas of infinite possibilities. Yesterday's canvas might be a mess. It's like, oh my God, it's like, what happened? More distractions, get rid of that, throw it away. Today, we're blessed with a blank canvas. And that's where we do our daily ritual of like, okay, focus intention. What is it I would like to achieve today? With that focused intentions, set those intentions for the day. And then at the end of the day, you can have a look at your canvas and you can tune in again and say to yourself, did I actually do the best today? What's my picture looking like? It's like, oh shoot, I got distracted again. It's like, it's a bloody mess. That's a wasted opportunity. You know, that's a wasted moment that's never going to come back again. So it's just that awareness of like every day of getting into the flow of, okay, brand new canvas, what am I going to achieve? Or I'm just going to let myself get distracted and waste the day. I mean, not waste the day, if as long as you enjoy it, it's fun, but you know, you're not evolving by doing that. And if we bring that consciousness and that awareness to every day, then we can evolve. What would the world look like if everyone was living in their purpose? I think, you know, people talk about the multiverse. And the multiverse, I think we're already in it. And again, this is part of my experience of being psychotic. You know, if you're not tuning in to the news or, you know, sort of the controlled consensus reality, you know, I think this is where the artist has the freedom to create their own reality in a sense. You know, we have that choice. It's like, so yes, if you've got like-minded people with the same vision, you can create a heaven for yourself. But I think, you know, sort of as we raise in our consciousness and having vibration holding us in place, again, it's changing your vibration and seeing who else is there with you. And, you know, sort of, I think we're at a very important part of history, whether it's in a lot of prophecies, that we do have an opportunity to split. The Hopi prophecy rock, you know, I know that's not that old, but it's like, I think it's supposed to be 100 years old or something, but it shows very clearly that separation of, like, you go on this route, fear, death, that's what you experience. You go on this happy channel over here, it just keeps going. And I think that's true for all of us. So it's like, you know, yeah, let's get in our purpose. Let's raise the vibration. Let's create our heaven on earth and make that shift from all the craziness of this world, the consensus world, with all its constraints, and be free.